welcome back to another video. So we are basically picking up where we left off on Wednesday's video, just working in this flower bed over on the patio space. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like, just kind of as a reminder, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started with planting my flowers and then adding the weed protection. And speaking of weed protection, remember in the video where I did the little rock fountain or whatever, and I told you guys that the tarp that I used the tarp as the weed barrier or whatever. Well, I started doing some more research into that particular tarp. My gosh, I can't talk. That tarp is not the one to use. The tarp material that I use over by the fence area, well, it's not even tarp, it's a woven weed fabric. Basically it looks like tarp, so that's why I call it tarp. But that's the one that you want to use, because that's the one that's going to breathe better and to also let water flow through with the tarp freely, and it won't cause any shouldn't cause any foundational problems or whatever. So scratch what I said in the other video about the other tarp. The only place that I really used that tarp was actually in the trash can area when I did the walkway space, and that's fine because it's not up against anything except for the fence. I mean, that's cool. And even with that, surprisingly, I've never had a problem with standing water, so thank God for that. But yeah, I'm not going to use that tarp that I purchased previously. Whew, y'all, it's hot. So yeah, so we're going to go back to using the original weed fabric that I used over by the fence area when I did that huge landscaping in the backyard by the pergola. That's what we're going to be using in the flower beds up against the foundation of my home. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. And you can purchase this from Home Depot, Lowe's, it doesn't matter, Amazon, all of the above. So here's a look at the weed fabric that I'm going to be using, and this is the exact same one that I used over in the landscape by the fence area. You can see here it has that little green line. Some of them will have like the yellow line, but it's the Max Weed Control. It's woven fabric, it's heavy duty, and this does pretty well. I like using this. It's just that it's expensive, which is why I started using the actual tarp. This roll here, I think this was about $60, I think it was. I got this from Home Depot. This is the Vigaro brand, but of course you can get this from Amazon, you can get it from Lowe's, so it really doesn't matter. But just wanted to, share this with you guys and make sure I remind you that no, do not use that tarp against your foundation. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to remove it from that little flower bed that I did and replace it with this particular weed fabric instead. So just as a quick reminder, here's what that space looks like right now. So you can kind of see here where we cleaned out all the weeds and everything. Thank goodness, it was so much weeds. Oh my gosh, so many weeds. But we got all that cleaned out. So now we're dealing with a blank slate for the most part. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with just kind of figuring out where I want to put my plants and what plants I want to use, or shrubs I should say, because I'm kind of using a combination of shrubs and plants because I want something that's a little bit more permanent in terms of flowers, like perennials, for example. I want some blooming, flowering shrubs that's going to come back year after year. And so here's a look at the flowers or the shrubs I'm going to be using, and roses actually. And I decided to do the roses because I got roses, the white rose on the other side of the steps, so I figured, hey, why not? So these are actually the little mini knockout roses, the petite knockout roses is what these are. And you can kind of see how they look here. And what I love about these roses is that they're not going to get so big, which is perfect because I don't need to, I want to keep the maintenance as low as possible. So I'm going to add one on each side, one here, one over here, and then in the middle I'm going to add a little lime punch hydrangea right here. I think that's going to be really, really pretty. And you can see it already has some blooms on it. So that's what we're going to start off with. And of course I'm going to carry that brick edging all along the edging of this flower bed as well. And what I'm gonna have to do is get a little creative, because you guys will notice that this flower bed actually extends out a little bit further than this one because this one has the patio papers here. So yeah, I don't want to start the brick edging on the very edge because it's going to look awkward, because it's not going to be even with what we have going on here. I want to push it up and make sure it starts like right about here, so then that way everything is even together. And I'm going to have to kind of get creative in this space here, because this is previously where I had the rock bed. So I'm gonna have to put something else here just to make it look a little bit more decorative, and just to kind of resemble a little bit what I got going on in the other flower bed. So let's go ahead and get started with digging my holes and putting these bushes in the ground. All right, so what I'm doing is just kind of doing a dry fit with the plants still in the pots, and just put them in the hole to make sure that I have them aligned the way I want them to. They're straight. So I'll just kind of walk around on every angle and just kind of make sure that this is where I definitely want to plant them. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just making sure that the plants are aligned the way I want them to. And it looks like they are. Good. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start taking the plants out of the pots. So here's a look at what I'm going to be adding to the hole. What I'm going to be mixing in the hole with the plants. So I have some organic biotone starter. This is a starter plant food, so I'm just going to be putting a little bit of that down in the hole with these shrubs. All right, so the next thing I'm about to do is I'm going to fold this back a little bit, this weave fabric. And I'm going to do it all along the edge of this flower bed because I want to dig a trench right here where the flower bed meets the walkway, meets the cement. And I'm doing that because I don't plan on putting no dig edging on the edge of this. I'm just going to, whenever I add my mulch and everything, I want to make sure that my mulch has somewhere to settle, so then that way it's not spilling over on the edge of the sidewalk. And you can see how close the landscape is to the sidewalk. So we're going to just dig a small little trench so that way the mulch can settle nicely in that area. Okay, so I've already dug my little trench here. You can kind of see that. So now I'm about to go ahead and just lay the weave fabric back over the entire thing. Just lay that back over it. I'm just gonna push it down in there. And again, I'm doing this so then that way whenever I add my mulch won't spill over onto the walkway space here, because I'm not going to use edging along here. Now, sometimes you can use edging. Normally, that's what I would do. But in this case, I don't want to use the edging here. All right, so I'm not using the edging on the end here. But I am going to be using the edging because I do want to do some type of design in this area, because I have all these stones here. Remember, we removed these stones from this space, and I need to figure out some way to repurpose them. So what better way to repurpose them than to create some type of design? But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and first add my brick edging. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, y'all, so what I'm in the process of doing right now is creating the area for my brick edging. And to do that, I am going to be using the no dig edging. And this is just basically going to work as a support to prevent my brick edging from moving and from shifting. So that's what you see me doing right now, is just applying that no dig edging just to kind of keep those bricks in place, mainly because they're not up against anything. They're just sitting out there in the open. So I definitely have to use that no dig just to keep them in place. All right, y'all, so it's starting to get a little late, but I wanted to show you guys my progress so far on this evening. Yeah, so I went ahead and, as you guys can see, added the no dig edging right up against the brick edging, so then that way my bricks don't move. So that was the purpose of me adding it there. Okay, now what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and create some type of design using my Mexican pebbles in this space, because I still have a few more plants that I want to plant right along the border here. But I want to first create the rock design and then plant my flowers and then add my mulch. Not sure if I'll be able to get all of that done this evening, because I think it's like maybe 8:30 or something. Normally, you know, I would work really late, but my mom is here and I don't want to be rude or anything, so that's why I think I'm gonna call it a night pretty early. But anyway, let's go ahead and try to create or think of a layout or a design that I want to do with these Mexican pebbles. I have something in mind. I don't know, y'all, my mind tends to change at the last minute, but let's see what I come up with. Hey y'all, so it is the next day. Just want to quickly show you my progress on last night and just kind of tell you a little bit about what I did. So yeah, let's take a look. All right, so here's a quick look at what I did on last night, and it's after 8:30 p.m. and I'm just getting back here to try and finish up because y'all is, oh God, it's been so hot today, y'all. I mean, the heat is just sweltering. But anywho, anyway, you can see here that I pretty much did a lot of the same concept like what I did over in the other flower bed. You know, just wanted to do something where you could, you know, it looked like the rocks or whatever. And this is just me trying to figure out creative ways of using up these Mexican pebbles here that I took from the flower bed. So that's just what I'm doing here, is just trying to find some use for those pebbles, for those stones. But anyway, this is what the space looks like. Just as simple as, like I told you guys before, I just simply created a little, I guess you can call it a little river design, and then just place the pot, use the no dig edging here, and that's it. That's all I did basically. So did that with both of these pots. And so now what I want to do is I want to first put some flowers in these pots. Well, you know what? Let's do that last. Let's first plant these other flowers here that I have along the edge of the line, or the edge of the flower bed. So we're going to go ahead and plant these flowers here, and then we'll work on this space here. And then the only thing left to do then would be to mulch this entire area. So that's where we're at. All right, so we're in the process of wrapping things up. I'm so excited. Yeah, so hopefully by tonight we can get everything done and I can show you guys the final reveal on tomorrow. So that will be one more space on the patio area complete, and then we're gonna move on to the rest because y'all, it's still a huge mess. Oh my God. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with actually planting my flowers. So right quickly, I want to show y'all the plants that I'm going to be planting. I have these here, and these are so beautiful when they open. They open up during the day. They're closed right now, but they have such beautiful blooms. And you can see here, they bloom summer and fall. And y'all, these actually come back every year whenever I plant them. So these work almost like perennials in my zone, which is zone 8B. So I wanted to show you guys a quick clip of that exact same plant that I planted on last summer in this planter pot. I was super excited by early spring to see that this plant was actually coming back, because I remember this plant being an annual. And this is actually one plant, y'all. And you can see how big and how thick it's gotten. And what I love about these plants is that they basically bloom all throughout the day, and then by late evening, they start to close. The buds on them will close and reopen in the morning. These plants are extremely heat tolerant, you guys, which is another great thing. So just wanted to remind you guys that these plants actually do come back as a perennial in certain zones. but you can see that these are actually listed as annual. So I guess it just depends on what zone you're in. But yeah, these work as perennials in my zone. And I'm also going to be planting some beautiful, vibrant Venkas. I have a couple of these in, various colors. And I think in the pots, I want to plant some white ones that I have currently sitting on my deck. And for the little river rock area, I think I want to plant some Joseph Coast. I absolutely love the way these look in that other landscape I did in my backyard space. It looks absolutely amazing. So I think I want to plant a few of these, just kind of coming down the little rock river area. All right, y'all. So as you can see, once again, it is starting to get pretty late outside. So I really want to try to get this project wrapped up tonight. So I'm in the process of planting my flowers right now. And then you guys will see me adding the rocks back to the flower bed. And then finally finishing up by adding our mulch. All right, so I'm in the process of adding my soil to the planter pot so I can plant my flowers here. And I'll show you guys in the final reveal how I actually lift up this pot a little bit so to make sure that it's able to drain properly by using the Mexican stones underneath the pots.
Chilling wind and rain, you're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, oh.
Okay, y'all, so before the final reveal, I want us to take a look back at what this flower bed space used to look like before we made it over. And I also want to address a couple of comments from the other video that I did where I chopped down the rose bush really low in the other flower bed, which is right next to the back door. So let's go ahead and quickly address those before taking a look at the final reveal. So for this comment here, so guys, it's only been a couple of weeks that I chopped down this rose bush really low, and look at that. covered in leaves. So as you can see, even though it's midsummer, they come right back. There's even buds. Look at that. How fantastic. So yeah, the rose bush is doing phenomenal, and it is loaded with leaves, and we have buds. And for this comment, girl, I completely agree with you. It was definitely missing something. And you know what that was? This gorgeous, beautiful flower here in this pot. So as you can see, I added a plant to this pot. And those of you who have not seen this particular flower bed makeover, I will be sure to link this one in the description, so then that way you can kind of get caught up on what the space used to look like as well. But I absolutely love how everything is blooming, everything is filling out gorgeously. So I absolutely love the way the space look, and I think that the space we just completed complements this particular area perfectly. All right, y'all, so now let's go back and be reminded as to what this particular flower bed space used to look like before the makeover. You guys may recall there was weeds everywhere. I mean, galore, okay? Tall and small. So this area was a whole hot mess, you guys. Not only that, but the little patio space needed some freshening up as well. So now let's take a look at the final reveal. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you are new to this channel and visiting for the first time, welcome. My name is Carolina, and if this is the type of content you enjoy and want to be a part of our wonderful family, be sure and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that way you're always notified every time I post a new video. But let me know in the comments, you guys, what did you think of the transformation of this space? I absolutely love it. I think it flows really, really well with what we did in the previous landscape. In the meantime, thanks again so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys really, really soon in my next video. Bye now.